All right, time to talk some movie and TV news. Jeff D. Lowe, Ken Jack, what's going
Yo.
on? Gooch with a nice blue hat today.
Explain the hat.
Oh, I got the my friend gave me a Toon Squad hat, but it's the Space Jam 2.
Yeah,
Yes.
you could tell. I could tell by the blue. It was like a new blue they used for it's like they invented their own blue for that Space Jam movie.
Yeah.
This is actually LeBron James designed this hat.
Looks fantastic. Let's get into it. Biggest movie news that's happening right now, hands down, the delays of movies, and a big domino fell. Dune Part 2 delayed until March 15th, 2024, amid the ongoing strikes, which seem to have absolutely no end in sight. There was like a mild bit of positivity last week or 2 weeks ago that like talks were going to get started again, and then Bob Iger made some comments, and it doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon. And it seems as though studios are going to delay movies that they care about and are going to not delay ones they don't care about. It seems pretty fucking cut and dry, because there's some they're like, yeah, we're not moving that. That's just staying there. Like Aquaman, for example. Denis Villeneuve also said he wants to make Dune Messiah, said there are words on paper. If I succeeded in making a trilogy, that'd be the dream. But I guess on the maybe like the positive end of things, if you're a big Dune fan, Dune Part 2 may have a shot at like a big Oscar run now next year, because it seems like this is Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon potentially's year as we head into award season. Bummer. It's a bummer. That's really no two ways about it. And they just released a fucking magazine cover too. It's delay the magazine.
Yeah, that was weird.
They delayed it like the night before they knew that massive Empire spread was coming out, which is just insane.
A wild move. I don't know. It sucks because like Denny is like obviously like probably the best director of the 2010s, I would say, right? Like,
I mean,
at the very least, like hasn't missed, and so for him not to be able to get the movie, and all of us obviously being super pumped up for it, it sucks. But also, when I was like reading more into this, like I was just reading some more stuff about the strike and all that, the percentage that they're asking from the studios is staggeringly low.
It's like what 0.014% or something.
They put out like a table of it. They were asking for the amount that they were asking for out of Disney's percentage of revenues. It would have been 0.088% of their revenue. That's what they're asking for, and Iger is like personally offended by that. That was what the report before said the other day, right? He's like, Iger is personally offended by what they're asking for. It's like, dude, that is a fraction of a percentage, and you can't do that for them. It's fucking crazy. Just fix it, dude.
No, and it's also a massive bummer because we were coming off, I think, one of the biggest wins for movies between the Barbenheimer release was just a massive win publicly to get people back into theaters. And then you follow that up by having not only just a terrible slate in August, I think a lot of that
horrible slate in August.
Paramount not moving Mission Impossible into August is just still
one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
It would have made $1 billion if they had released in August, because people would have gone back to the theaters and seen that.
Yeah, that movie was talked about. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 was talked about as, in some spaces, almost like a loss for them. And like they did lose money. Now it's a little different than The Flash, because like The Flash, it was delayed, but like The Flash was just redone, rewritten, and reworked so many ways. Mission Impossible got delayed because of COVID, and that's a big reason it lost money. Like it still made good money, but it definitely got fucked by the fact that it came out a week before the biggest movie event since Avengers Endgame, and one of the biggest movie events of all time with Barbie and Oppenheimer. So that was pretty.
Could have capitalized on that.
Yeah, my bigger point here is that like you have this massive win for cinema, and then you follow that up with a bad August slate, just a terrible August slate. And this strike, it's just the movie industry like doesn't want to do themselves any favors. I don't understand it. Like it feels like some studios just want theaters to die. I don't know. And I think probably Netflix and Disney have a lot to do with that. Yeah, Dune being, I mean, I don't really care about them winning Oscars. I really wanted that this year. And it sucks too, because the first Dune went through this hell too. And that's just like, can't get a win.
Well, I mean, another big thing with it too is that it played before Oppenheimer. The trailer did. If you saw it in IMAX, the movie is completely in IMAX, so it's a stunning trailer to watch. And I just saw Oppenheimer again the other day, and it was in 70 millimeter IMAX, and the trailer plays this huge thing that just says fucking November 3rd after it, and you're like, God damn it! And so it's a bummer. But to what's been said here is, I mean, I think we saw that back during COVID. I think these studios do want this shit on streaming. Like, I think they would like that. So there is a little bit to that as well. So
movies are they're just so much better in a theater. They really are. Like, we can't hammer that home enough. Like, I saw Boogie Nights last week with Owen in the theater, and I already like love Boogie Nights, but it was just that much better on the big screen. Like, it was, I don't want to say significantly better, but my score came up. I mean, a good 10 points.
Yeah.
I mean,
that one take, man. Great one.
So that's Dune
also,
Part 2. Dune
Jeff, Oppenheimer. We haven't addressed this yet. So I guess 2 years ago you said that any movie with Josh Peck gets a 1 point bonus.
Yeah, somebody did. That is true. That is true, because I believe I gave Red Dawn, the remake of Red Dawn, I gave like a 2 out of 100. And I said it should have been a 1, but Josh Peck gets an automatic bump. So I guess Oppenheimer's a 101 now. That's how I'll rescore. I had an insane theater experience. It didn't really ruin anything for me. It was just very funny. That we'll talk about at the end here. That was just almost an Impractical Jokers level human being sitting next to me during that screening of Oppenheimer. Though, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you talk about where the movie industry is, and it's a bummer that they're going to go fucking do this. Is I saw Oppenheimer. Now, granted, it was one of the 17 theaters in the country you could see it in 70 millimeter IMAX. So that's like the asterisk a bit, because it is a tough thing to get. But it was 10:30 on a Saturday morning, and there was not a single empty seat in the theater. And it's been out for a month. That's crazy. So from Dune 2, some sci-fi to some more sci-fi, some I guess original sci-fi, which is really fucking cool when you think about it. Yeah, it's Zack Snyder plucking from things he likes, and then he created his own thing. But it's not based on anything. Technically,
things he likes, just say Star Wars.
No, it opens up with like a shot of like the fucking spaceship, and then the Dune chants basically.
Yeah, but I mean, Star Wars is essentially Dune, so I guess we'll give him credit there. But anyway,
stylistically they differ though, which is that is the thing where you got to make sure you change shit. Like Star Wars ripping from like.
Oh, you mean like when there's lightsabers in this trailer?
Yeah, literal lightsabers.
I won't lie though, those fucking lightsabers.
They look cool.
They look cool as hell.
Rebel Moon is what we're talking about. Part 1. It's weird because it's
that was fucking crazy. How did that not come out before? That is a part 1 of
the marketing for this is going to be very interesting, because this was very, very, because I'm reading, actually I have the Wikipedia up just to kind of look at like just little details, and it says here Rebel Moon, and then parentheses, marketed as Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire. It's absolutely being marketed as just Rebel Moon. And it is a part 1. It comes out in December on Netflix. This will be pretty cool. It's going to have a limited theater release. I'll definitely see this in theaters. The production value on this is unbelievable. But it's Zack Snyder. He created this story. Pretty big cast. Sophia Boutella, Charlie Hunnam, our boy Jaimin Hansu, Ray Fisher in it. Anthony Hopkins doing the narration in the trailer. He'll be in the movie as well.
He's never picked a bummer in sci-fi genre.
Say it again.
Anthony Hopkins has never picked a bummer in the sci-fi genre before.
Oh yeah, no, it's never happened.
What was the movie last year?
Oh, I don't even know what you were talking. I was talking about Transformers: The Last Night. Was what I was talking
about. Corey Stoll with one of the worst fake beards I've ever seen in my life in the trailer, but that I'll excuse that. It looks crazy. Cost $166 million to make. He said it was inspired by the works of Akira Kurosawa, Star Wars, and heavy metal magazines, which seems like he just threw that in there to divert attention a little bit.
Yeah. Can you really?
It's like
Zack Snyder just flipping through
a heavy metal magazine. He's like, I gotta fucking make a movie about this.
I believe that 100% though.
It was originally supposed to be it was developed as a Star Wars film that he had pitched to Lucasfilm after Disney bought them. That would have been kind of cool if he was able to do that, but I kind of like more that it's just separated from that. It looks big. It looks like Zack Snyder. It looks like a lot of slow-mo. I would be lying to you if I didn't say I was like really fucking excited for this. Like it is an awesome trailer for Netflix, but really it is hitting theaters before that. So it hits that lane of like, is it a Netflix movie? Is it not? I guess probably say no, because it hits theaters first. So I mean, yeah, Kenjack, dive into it, because there are there's a lot of things plucked from many franchises here.
Yeah, so like I think that with Snyder, I respect him knowing what his lane is. You know what I mean, and like rarely ever diverting from it at all. Like loud CGI action, CGI rarely looks good. Even in this, it's kind of shaky. A lot of slow mo, as much as the studio will physically allow you to do. That's his bag, and people love him for it. He has the most fanatical fans of any director on the planet. Like Scorsese doesn't have hitters like Zack Snyder does. It's crazy, but that's also kind of like the problem is like you watch this, like, wow, every single shot is slow mo. Every single shot has some sort of lens flare on it. Every single shot has like a big CGI set piece that looks like crap. And like, that's whatever. But as long as the story's cool, I don't really care. But like, again, chorus from Dune. They got the breather suit from Dune. They got the lightsabers. They got the space messiah. Like, it feels really derivative of stuff that we've already seen, which is fine. Again, as long as you make a stylistically big enough difference from those other things, like I don't care. Like, and again, that's something like what Star Wars does. Like you ripped plot points like bit for bit from Kurosawa and like all stuff like that. But like it just you need to be a little bit more different, and it's not. And the cast is like I don't like the first build person being like Sophia Boutella, who like what's Sophia Boutella's best movie? Like
Kingsman.
The Kingsman as
Kingsman,
a villain
she's
that doesn't
henchman.
speak. Like it's not one that really moves a ton of the needle for me. Like I like Corey Stoll. Ed Skrein just has to play villain in everything he's in. Jaimin looks like he's not going to be a big part. I like Charlie Hunnam, but not for something like this. Obviously, the last big like sort of role he had like this was King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. If you want to consider like that same sort of like fantasy-ish, sci-fi-ish element. None of it is really exciting. The teaser I thought was really cool, but then the full trailer, I'm like, this kind of I don't know.
It's also it's one of the longest trailers I've ever seen in my life. That's like a 10-minute long trailer. It shows
fucking
so
crazy.
much.
I don't know. I want to be really excited for this because I do like something being like a potential franchise coming out that's not a Star Wars, that's not Star Trek, whatever. Sure, but not if it's going to be the same things, like just derivative of those things, but not as good. And that's fine. And Snyder fans, I'm sure, will leak my IP address the minute this posts. But I'm sorry, just how I feel. I want to be pleasantly surprised because I do. We've interviewed Snyder before. He's an awesome interview. He's really cool. I like all that stuff. This seems too centered in his lane that he's already too well familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, it's Snyder. You just have to see it like first.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, and I respect the hell out of him for that. Like he has built a brand as a director, which seems impossible these days. Like how many younger directors, that started in the 21st century, can you really like name? Like say like, oh yeah, I think my buddy would know who this is. Like it's a very small list, but Snyder's on that. It's because he does. I mean, he takes swings. It, for the most part, doesn't really work. But
it's not even like swings, really.
But he is. It's to that idea that you don't say it often anymore. That who do we say that still this exists? Where it's like this person makes blank movies. Like Zack Snyder makes Zack Snyder movies. Like
yeah.
Like you're right. There just aren't that many, and he's been around for Dawn of the Dead was 20 years ago. So.
Oh, and he also said he's making the director's cut too. We almost forgot to mention that.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do next. That is no. Trust me, I was going to fucking say that. Why is there a director's cut? He had complete creative control on this.
Yeah, complete creative control. It's because he knows he can make money off it. He knows he can release it again and make money.
The funniest thing is, like, his director's cuts are better. Like they are. Like every single one of them is better than the theatrical cut. Like,
usually they are. Almost all director's cuts are better than studio cuts.
But like. There is something too, like if as a director, you need to be able to make your movie in the allotted runtime for the theatrical release. Like that is something you need to be able to do.
It seems like part of it though is the rating, because it's like a PG-13 cut and then a rated R extended cut. So did they tell him he couldn't do rated R? I could I'll play devil's advocate. I could see that maybe being like, hey, if you're going to do it in theaters and Netflix, please make it PG-13. Like I guess I could see that. But like, still, it's like this of all times to have a cut. This shouldn't be the time.
Yeah,
you had control.
Like, you have the ideal time, like the literal ideal scenario where you don't need an extended cut.
It feels like a marketing ploy more than anything for this. Like just to be able to say Snyder cut, like we have a Snyder cut coming. Like they just want that out there.
Like he's allergic to one cut. He just can't. He cannot do it.
I'm going to wait for the Ultimate Edition in 2025.
You said that the other day, by the way. You tweeted that. You said you like the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman.
It is quite a bit better.
Every cut he has, that the director's cut, it's always better.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I'm just looking at the wiki, by the way. He revealed that he already made a role-playing game based on Rebel Moon, alongside an animated short and a graphic novel and a novelization and is a plan on a TV series focusing around one of the characters, and is a 4-player co-op action game being made for the Netflix Games platform. We haven't seen anything from
Let's
this.
make one good movie first.
Make the movie. Fuck, man. It's like Amazon with anything they make that's successful.
Yes.
Like, dude, just focus on making the one thing good first before you spawn a whole fucking universe of something everyone might hate.
Yeah, that would be hilarious if this movie comes out and it just stinks, and they have like just $1 billion sunk into a franchise before it's even off the ground.
Fucking crazy.
Oh my
Also,
god!
I didn't include it in the rundown, but he said he wants to do a Gears of War movie. I never played Gears of War,
You'd
but
be perfect for that.
But I've seen enough gameplay in that trailer that's awesome. The Mad World trailer. He's perfect for that.
People have talked about doing that for forever. I know that Dave Bautista has wanted to play.
Yeah,
Dom always, like, for years. He's even, I think, a playable character in whatever the last Gears was. It's a series that would be really cool because the lore of Gears of War is sick, and Zack Snyder would be perfect for that. So if he wants to do that, I'm all ears.
So that's the Rebel Moon trailer. Pretty big trailer drop. Comes out in December, and the second part comes out in April.
Yeah. Also, 4 months after the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's very weird. Is the second one get a theatrical release too? Like,
I'll tell you what, if that first one stinks, that's gonna be real awkward.
Yep.
That's gonna be real fucking awkward. It's like, what do you do there? There's a lot of faith being put into that. The next movie is with Saoirse Ronan and Paul Mescal. Is it pronounced Foe or is it FOE? What's the proper way to say this movie's name?
I think because it's all caps.
It's all caps. It's either Foe or FOE. Comes out in theaters October 6th. Written and directed by Garth Davis, who did the movie Lion, I believe. Hen and Junior farm a secluded piece of land that has been in Junior's family for generations, but their quiet life is thrown into turmoil when an uninvited stranger shows up at their door with a startling proposition. That doesn't really say too much, but I'll tell you this. Saoirse Ronan, except for Lady Bird, I feel like there's never in a movie set before like 2000. And even that movie was set in like 2001, I think, right?
Yeah.
So when I saw that so it opens up, it's in a farmland. I'm like, this is going to be like in the 80s or 70s or something. It's in like 2036 or 2063 it's in the distant future, and it's about space. There's a space involved. It seems to be mostly set on Earth, in that kind of farmland setting. But new movie coming out with Saoirse Ronan and Paul Mescal, obviously very, very hyped right now. He's in everything. He's being cast for everything. He's fan cast for everything. And Saoirse Ronan, pretty picky with her stuff. She's not in much, but when she's in things, it's usually very good. Very good agent, Saoirse Ronan. There's someone with a terrible agent who actually had a teaser poster released. We're recording this on Monday, August 28th. Michael Fassbender's in the new David Fincher movie. He has a horrible agent, apparently, because he's just not been in anything good, though. Hopefully that movie is good. No trailer for that yet. But what do you think about this trailer?
I think the stylization for the caps thing was just for the poster, because on the wiki and everything else, it's just lowercase Foe.
Okay, so Foe. Okay.
Yeah. Trailer, it's one of those things where you just mix those two people together in like a smaller production, and I'm just going to be like, yes, no matter what the concept was. Saoirse Ronan and Paul Mescal. Paul Mescal to a much lesser extent because we don't have as much like exposure to him, but like Saoirse Ronan, like you're saying, crushes everything she's ever been involved in. And just like reading through the wiki, they already have a graphic novelization in play. They have a video game, 4-player RPG. But I'm excited for this. I mean, anything. Again, you throw these two super successful actors in anything, I'm gonna go watch it opening day.
Big shout out to all the Black Mirror fans that were in our comment section. Immediately, this is just like Black Mirror. This is just based on a book that came out like 5 years before Black Mirror. But okay.
Yeah, the book did come out in 2018.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I love these two actors. I like Lion too. That's the movie with what's his face?
It's a movie about your wife.
Dev Patel, isn't it? Is that Lion? Anyways,
you got it right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah, these two, Paul Mescal
outside my window just made a lot of noise, so I went on mute.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear it. Is Paul Mescal going to be overexposed at some point here in the
Very
future?
possible. Very possible.
I like him a lot, but he is taking on quite a few projects all at once.
He's hitting like Chalamet territory, but I don't know if he's as talented as Chalamet. You know what I mean? Like Timothy's like wrote it well, but like I don't know how Mescal will. We'll see.
Did you guys watch Normal People?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
He was great in that too, but that's like I've seen him in that, and then After Sun. And
After Sun is like the most. That's all I got for him, really.
So he's building quite a career off two
never mind.
Very high exposed roles. So I'm interested to see how like the public reacts to him being in front of their faces for the next 2 to 3 years, nonstop. Apparently he didn't even. By the way, apparently he didn't audition for Gladiator 2. They just gave him.
I trust Ridley. You want to talk about another guy that has
that's the definition
cut.
of hype. Like that is being hyped up when you can just fucking get a role. I do. You're right. Though. I do trust Ridley Scott.
I'm not even sure if fucking Eddie Munster had an audition though. He just saw Stranger Things and he's like, fucking you're playing the bad guy. Eddie Munster, Hellfire.
They didn't know in the trailer that it's from visionary director Garth Davis. By the way, who visionary is.
You can't throw that on.
Lion was good.
Right? Garth.
Yeah, but you can't just throw. Yeah, you could say about a different Garth for sure, but you can't just throw visionary on anybody these days, especially a guy with 3 movies.
Yeah, Lion was a good movie. Then he came out with the Mary Magdalene movie, which was not very good, with Rooney Mara and Joaquin Phoenix playing Jesus. So that's an interesting. What qualifies as being a visionary director?
He can see. He has 20/20 vision. And you're a visionary director.
They're literally talking about his eyesight.
He doesn't wear contacts or glasses. He's a fucking incredible director.
Perfect eyesight. This guy's a visionary like you would not believe.
So that's a trailer for. We're going to call it Foe. We're saying Foe. So a lot of sci-fi. This is 3 sci-fi stories off top. I will say, while we made fun of Rebel Moon a little bit, delayed for Dune, it is like I like that these are sci-fi things. I love the Creator trailer every time I see it. The Gareth Edwards movie that's
very
coming
excited
out.
for that.
Good little time for sci-fi. This is nice. I love it. Much different speed, and I don't even think you guys watch this show, but I can't not talk about how much the morning show costs. And the premise
I can't believe it's still on. I thought it ended.
So the new season of the morning show got its third season trailer or season 3 trailer. This show is unbelievably expensive to make. The 2 of the highest paid acting jobs in the history of television and streaming. Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, millions to play these roles. There's some of the show has been good. Billy Crudup, I love in the role. Now they add John Hamm for season 3. He seems to just be basically the premise of the new season of this show is that they have a cyber attack at the news network and things get leaked. And there's no more Steve Carell's character. Spoiler alert. Pause. Big time dead. Dies in the 2nd season. Drives off a cliff. Remember, he gets fired for sexual harassment, being a sexual predator, and then he has a bit of a redemption arc in season 2, and then he drives off a cliff in Italy and dies. Very strange. Also, the 2nd season was really hit by COVID, and they changed things around and made it basically a COVID story. So John Hamm seems to just be, if you watch Succession, he's just what's his face's character? Mattson.
Oh, okay.
He's just Mattson from Succession, basically. He's like this golden parachute for them to save themselves from this impending doom and disaster. This show costs so much money, and Apple TV makes they do make really good shows. Like, they've had a good run of some solid stuff. But a couple of their shows that they first ever launched with, they just couldn't stop and get rid of. Like, speaking of Ridley Scott, C cost so much money. The show with Jason Momoa, this show costs an insane amount of money. They always get nominated, though it always feels like they almost like pay for the nominations, the Golden Globes. I don't know why they're still hanging on to shit like this.
I think they don't even give a fuck. Honestly, Apple's so
they may not. They have enough cash to just buy Disney like right now.
Yes, exactly. They have cash to just buy. Like they could buy Disney cash. Like that's insanity. I don't think they pay attention to the ledger book on Apple TV. Like I think it's just a marketing cost for them where it's like, whatever, we just lose money. I don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, how much is an Apple TV subscription? It's still like $6.
Yeah. I mean, I get mine for free through T-Mobile.
It's just, I don't, it is crazy because like you talk about prices and you talk about how much Disney Plus costs, like in terms of like for these Marvel shows. Then you look at some of these shows, like the morning show, a show about a news program, and they're spending millions on it. And I never liked C. Some people liked C. It was never really, and that was billed as like their top thing when they first launched Apple TV Plus. That was like their big thing to hang their hat on, that in the morning show.
Mainly sailors who watched it.
I never did. That was good. That was good. I never watched C, but I just recently started The Expanse for the first time. The Expanse rocks.
I've heard good things about that too.
Nothing, but I've always never heard nothing but great things, and I'm like, it's a sci-fi show. I'll probably like it, and I just waited forever to start it. Expanse is awesome. Really like that show. Not to do too off topic from Apple.
Whenever people ask for show recommendations lately, I just tell them, I'm like, just get an Apple TV subscription, find one show you like. I'll tell them to start with Severance, but just pick something that interests you and just start from there. Go through their catalog. Most of it's good. Like they are in the HBO sphere, which I don't think any other streamer has really attempted to go after HBO the way Apple TV has. Like in terms of, we are going to make very high level, high production, like dramas, very serious stuff that maybe isn't for the general population, but the people who do watch are going to love it.
I will say the big difference between those two is that HBO just has the library to back it up, and the library of Apple TV is like 20 things.
Yeah.
There's like 20 total options to choose from on Apple TV. It's so funny how quickly when you're like just scrolling, you run out of options.
Yep.
Because they have like nothing in the library. It's just, but that's the big difference for HBO, which is what makes them better.
I thought like Blackbird, really good miniseries.
Yeah.
You talk about Silo, I think has been really solid. Hijack, people love. They do good stuff.
I don't know what it is about Hijack. It never connected to me. I don't know if you guys started.
I had a friend this weekend who was hyping up Hijack to me.
Yeah.
That, and I have another friend who loves Lee Pace show.
Oh, Foundation.
Yeah.
That first season is just, I've said it a million times, it's just so fucking dense, dude. But I've heard good things about the second season.
Which is funny.
They've definitely found, funny enough, and obviously like Ted Lasso ended up being a big hit for them. But it's funny, like a lot of their original stuff never really took off. Like one of their first things was Dickinson, the period comedy, the Emily Dickinson comedy with Haley Steinfeld. And that never really took off into anything.
Pretty good.
People seem to like it, right? But like it never like some of these things like never really hit this like next level. Did you actually watch it?
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, I'm watching it.
Of course you watched it. You sure dick in son, you pervert. You fucking incest freak.
And lastly, I got to tell a quick movie theater story. So I went and saw Oppenheimer in New York City at Lincoln Square. IMAX, best IMAX in the country, 70 millimeter. It's awesome. It's just unbelievable to watch it like that. And also, I saw it a month ago. And you can see where some of the film degrades and everything. Like there's the differences, and it just looks so fucking good. Paid more attention to the score than anything else this time, and the music in that movie is just fucking unbelievable. It's haunting. But I was next to somebody. This woman took her mother, I would assume, to the movies, and she sat down next to me, and she had what I thought was a little plastic cup of wine with a lid on it, and I was like, well, that's. Okay, whatever, Kendrick and I brought cereal into the movies before, like, not that weird. All of a sudden, I see her take off the lid, and she's individually dunking one piece of popcorn at a time. It was butter. It was a cup of butter, one at a time. And then about 30, 45 minutes into the movie, she spilled the entire cup of butter down the front of her shirt. I mean, just the whole thing. Shocking. Sat there for another 20 minutes. And then she got up and went to the bathroom. At least I assumed the bathroom. I actually had to go to the bathroom. She had been gone for like 10 minutes or so. I went to the bathroom and I saw her in the snack lobby because it's like separated, the IMAX in New York.
Back to more butter.
She's asking the worker if she can leave and come back in. So can I leave? Like, will I be able to get back in? And they're like, sure. And actually at that same time, a guy had just showed up and showed his ticket. Like, dude, you're a third late to this movie. Re-rack. Go another, like, try again. So I go to the bathroom, come back. She doesn't show up again for another 20 minutes. Not making much noise, not saying much. Pulls out her phone, full brightness, deletes emails for the next 20 minutes on her phone. Wasn't even that distracting because I just didn't care. And it was like a brighter part of the movie anyway, but she's just deleting emails one by one. At one point, I could very clearly tell she opened up her YouTube app, and I'm like, there's no way she's about to start playing fucking YouTube videos here. But she just closed it. After that, all of a sudden, I figured out why she left the theater. I see a brown bag being pulled out from the side of her, and she pulled out a massive chicken wrap, a huge wrap, and she just houses it, just absolutely devours it, gets up again for a good maybe 20 minutes, doesn't come back, finally comes back at the end of the movie. For the last 45 minutes, the most engaged movie experience I've ever seen. She's pointing to the screen, talking to her daughter about things. She reacted to the Kennedy thing like it was the greatest thing she'd ever seen. She's going nuts. Movie ends, first person to stand up and clap. And she clapped, and she leans to her daughter. She goes, "That was amazing." I'm like, you man, I go,
Like,
you
even
saw
half of it.
15% of the movie. What are you talking about? I've never seen anything like it. It was like she had the Impractical Jokers in her ear. Like, you got to fuck with this guy. Just do random shit. The YouTube, the only time my heart sank was the YouTube thing. I go, no way. She's going to start playing YouTube videos in the theater. This be unbelievable.
That's
What a move
awesome.
that would be.
It sounds like she was so like prepared to go to the movies, but at the same time, also had never been to the movies before.
Yeah, I just could not.
You know what I mean?
Individual dunking of one kernel at a time is pretty. That's commitment.
It honestly sounds fucking delicious. I'm not even gonna lie. I love that butter. I could drink it, but yeah, I mean, it sounds like this is a system she has set up. Was the butter from home? Do we know?
I would assume because it's the plastic cups. I don't know. Maybe they gave, because she bought the popcorn, so maybe AMC gave it to her. But I couldn't believe it. It was truly. I know some people say like that's why I don't go to the like whatever. It was a funny thing, and
that's a one.
She liked the 20% of the movie she actually paid. She was so engaged with that final act. She could when Einstein came back on screen at the end, she kind of like leaned forward in her chair. I was like, oh my god. Maybe she'd seen it already. Maybe maybe it's her fourth viewing. She just wanted to go with her daughter. I don't know.
I just wish she went to go get more butter. If she was at the snack line getting more butter, that would have been awesome.
I know, just a whole tub. Yeah,
for more butter.
The AMC, when you buy the to-go bag, they give you like a squeeze bottle of it. I would love to see somebody just squeeze bottle butter all throughout the movie. And there was also, I kind of feeling somebody would do it, and I thought I was being the asshole to do it. But when the Dune trailer aired, some guy a few rows back, it said November 3rd. He just goes, "Nope," really loud. I was like, right, that's a big movie guy right there.
Right. Any chance you saw? Did she open up Twitter at any point and start tweeting out racially insensitive things?
No.
Making sure it wasn't our good friend Paula.
Yeah, very possible.
So yeah, that's movie news for the week. Not a lot coming out in theaters right now, and some things delayed, but there are some big things ahead. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the like button on YouTube and subscribe to us. That would help us out big time. The more you do that, the more we can do in the future, including relaunching our movie website, movierankings.net, with many more features. For Ken Jack, for Gooch, I'm Jeff D. Lowe. Talk to you next time.